Throughout the series, J.P. Morosi has been with us down on the field. Here he is for the first time tonight.
Season start. It's an assignment 15 years in the making since his freshman year at Centenary College in Shreveport, Louisiana. After his junior season, he was a 34th round draft pick of the New York Mets. That round no longer exists. As recently as 2 years ago, he pitched exclusively as a reliever for the New York Mets. But he signed with the Royals this winter for two principal reasons. Lugo believed the Royals could win, and they thought he could be an effective starting pitcher. So far, both have been proven right. Tonight in Shreveport, the varsity baseball team is gathered to watch their most famous alumni pitch on one of the biggest stages in baseball. When they take the field in the spring, they are known as the Centenary College Gentlemen. For the call of Game 3, I send it to two of the best gentlemen I know, Bob Costas and Ron Darling.
Too kind, JP, too kind, but one can assume that if you pitched and played for the gentlemen, you have to make sure you're never ejected.
That's right. Seth Lugo, this year, in a year of great starts, probably had his best start against the Yankees on September 10th. 7 innings, no runs, 10 strikeouts. The 10 strikeouts, why? He had a great curveball that day, and you can see from his spin rate, much better than the average amongst baseball right-handers. He's as good as it gets when it comes to that spin rate. You see the vertical drop in that pitch. When he has that good curveball, he has that big strikeout game.
Here's Aaron Boone's lineup. It's familiar. No changes. The Yanks were 50-22 in mid-June. That was the best in all of MLB. After that, 44-46. Their 94-68 was still the best record in the American League and gives them home field in this series and against, should they get past the Royals, against the winner of the Guardians-Tigers series. Gleyber Torres steps in, 2 for 6 with a home run and 4 walks in the series so far. Swings on the first pitch, rolls it toward Witt, who gobbles it up and throws him out.
Well, defensively behind Lugo, trying to cover that vast outfield. First the infield, Salvador Perez with all of those gold gloves. Yuri Gurriel, who threw out 2 base runners in this series at first base. Isbell's gold glove type center fielder. Adam Frazier gets to start, maybe not because of the defense. He's 4 for 8 off Clark Schmidt.
Juan Soto runs up to show them bunt. I don't think that's going to draw the infield in, but we'll see.
He does that every once in a while, but he's also an outstanding bunter who gets a half dozen of those hits a season.
Do you really want him bunting, though?
No.
41 home run guy in this, the first inning. Called strike, 1-1. Aaron Judge on deck. A drive to center. Kyle Isbell going back to the track in front of the wall, and he's got it. Soto hit it about 408 feet, and that wasn't good enough.
There are more 400-foot outs in this ballpark than any in baseball. The wind's blowing in a little bit tonight, but this is where home runs go to die a lot.
Well, right there, if that took 4 feet off that particular shot to dead center, it deprived him of a home run. Here's Judge. Swinging and missing. In this series, 1 for 9, an infield hit, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and down in the count, 0-2.
How do you game plan against Seth Lugo? You got to figure out how to battle his 7-pitch mix that he'll toss up there against you.
Judge steps out. Virtually everybody in the ballpark standing now, waving their blue towels, hoping Lugo can finish off Judge and the Yankees in the first, but a line drive that's speared by Witt. Well, one MVP quality player robs another. Judge hit it right on the nose, and Witt, a Gold Glover, went up to snare it. Michael Massey strolling toward the plate. He'll start it for the Royals, and here's the rest of their batting order. Matt Quatraro in his second season at the helm. As most of you know, 56 and 106 a year ago. Turned it around and won 86 games this year, made it to the playoffs, and have played the Yankees on even terms through the first two.
Well, Clark Schmidt made 16 starts in the regular season. Why? He had a right lat strain that kept him out for about 3 months, but the Yankees were 11-5 in those 16 starts.
Massey fouls it back. Schmidt's record of 5-5 is deceiving. He was much better than mediocre when healthy.
ERA at 2.85.
93 strikeouts in 85 innings. An impressive mix in his pitching repertoire and an abundant amount of confidence. Down the left field line and out of play. In fact, Aaron Boone told us even before he'd done anything, when he was a rookie, he exuded so much confidence that at first, this is Boone talking now, at first I thought he was delusional. But then he kind of convinced us.
Hey, listen, confidence is half the battle at this level.
Point being, he won't be overwhelmed by the moment here in the playoffs. 1-2.
See those 11 starts before he had that IL stint. Outstanding numbers. A little skewed on the right because he had a bad start down the stretch in September that elevated that ERA.
Ground ball taken by Cabrera at first, and he steps on the bag for the unassisted putout. Big reception for Bobby Witt Jr.
It's almost like this crowd is willing, imploring their superstar to have a big night.
He led the majors at 332 overall, but 382 in his home ballpark. Had the winning hit in each of the 2 wild card wins over the Orioles. Hitless so far in this series against the Yankees. Although he's turned in some good plays in the field, and in fact a great one a half inning ago to Rob Judd.
You see that 2-seam fastball sinking action by Clark Schmidt. Will be 95 plus. It's his cutter, though, that's elite, according to his pitching coach and Aaron Boone.
A ball and a strike. Schmidt last pitched 10 days ago, last day of the regular season. A brief outing, just kind of a tune-up against the Pirates. Oh. 2-1 to Bobby Witt Jr. Vinny Pasquantino on deck.
Very interesting in game 1 and game 2. Witt looked like he couldn't wait to swing the bat. A little more patient here in his first at bat of game 3.
And he's got count leverage here at 3-1. Sweeper gets the corner and runs the count out full.
Sweeper's a good pitch for Schmidt, getting him back in the counts. That ball a little off the corner.
Lance Barrett, the plate umpire, thought it got a piece of the corner. A drive to right. Back goes Soto. Back to the track in front of the wall. He makes the catch. So Witt heads for the dugout, now 0 for 11 in the series.
Both the second place hitters in these lineups respectively hit the ball right on the nose, but the ballpark kept it in. Soto's drive to center field, and now Witt's drive to right.
Vinny Pasquantino hits one solidly, but it comes up for Torres. Just as the Yankees did, the Royals go in order in the first. Just as you see nothing but red at a Chiefs game, it's a sea of blue for this playoff game for the Royals. Austin Wells, the cleanup hitter, starts it in the second. Seth Lugo expended only 7 pitches to retire the Yankees in order in the first. And he's ahead of Wells 0-2.
Lugo's one of those pitchers that he'll live around 92, 93 with that fastball. Occasionally will throw one and get behind one and throw 95, 96 miles an hour. He can get a little extra when he needs it.
His 9th season in the big leagues was his best. 16-9 ERA, 3 on the nose. Made the All-Star team for the first time. And he strikes Wells out to start the second.
He's got all the weapons you would need, but this is the pitch that makes him special. That curveball is as good as any in the game, and it really is a big weapon against a left-handed hitter.
Giancarlo Stanton now. Taking a ball. 1 for 8 in the series. Had an RBI hit in game 2. Inside 2-0. With it short. Throws Stanton out. Jazz Chisholm walking to the plate. Greeted by a chorus of boos. Now let's take a look back a few minutes ago when he was introduced before the game. Pretty easy to read his lips. I love it. I love it. Rifles that one foul. He said before the series, we're very confident we're going to win. Then after the game 2 win by the Royals to even the series, members of the press said, what do you say now? Maybe they're just lucky. We're still fully confident we're going to win. That did not sit well with fans in Kansas City. But it's obvious that Chisholm doesn't mind playing a soap opera villain.
And Kansas City doesn't mind using it as bulletin board material.
The 1-1. Rolled to second where Massey has it. 6 up and 6 down for Lugo in game 3 in Kansas City. Warm greeting for Sal Perez, 13-year veteran. All of it with Kansas City. 2 hits in the series, including a big home run in game 2 off Carlos Rodon.
Last time they had a postseason game here, he was 25 years old, a crusty veteran now at 34.
He was the MVP of that 2015 World Series. When the Royals beat the Mets in 5 games. 0-2 the count. Here's what happened 2 nights ago in the Bronx. Boom.
They get Kansas City started. That big home run off Carlos Rodon, who had such a great start to that game, but he withered quickly.
Schmidt's 0-2 pitch coming to Perez. Struck him out on 3 pitches. First strikeout of the night for Schmidt.
You know, Bob, you were talking about the confidence that Schmidt has. One of the other reasons that they have put him in this start is he had a 1.39 ERA on the road. So undaunted, unfazed by pitching on the road. Good 4-seamer up in the zone there to Perez.
Schmidt was quoted a day or so ago as saying, it's like a dream to start a playoff game for the New York Yankees. His last couple of postseason appearances weren't starts, and they certainly weren't a dream. They were nightmares against Cleveland and Houston in the 2022 postseason. Here's a drive to very deep left field off the bat of Yuli Gurriel, and it's off the wall. On his way to second. and in with a double. Well, the last time Clark Schmidt faced Yuli Gurriel, Gurriel homered off him at Minute Maid Park in the 2022 ALCS, and he very nearly did it again here.
But Gurriel just keeps that swing on plane, and he launched that ball. It's almost 3 balls now that could have went out of most ballparks, and this one stays in for a double.
First base runner for either team.
It looked like the slider there from Clark Schmidt. Well played there by Verdugo, who's done that twice in this series, playing the ball off the carom at Yankee Stadium and here.
1-0 pitch to MJ Melendez. Just to finish up the thought, in the 2022 postseason, Clark Schmidt was tagged with 2 losses out of the bullpen and a combined ERA against the Guardians and the Astros of 11.57. That has not dampened his confidence. He couldn't wait to grab the ball and start this game. And of course, he's become a better pitcher in the ensuing 2 years. He cites Andy Pettitte as a mentor. Pettitte, one of the all-time Yankee greats, started 44 postseason games, a mind-boggling number. 40 of them for the Yankees and then 4 more as an Astro. 2-1 pitch.
Yeah, Clark Schmidt has been close to Andy Pettitte. In fact, they've talked about handling the pressure of the postseason start. Who better to go to?
Two and two to Melendez, who had a single and a homer in Game 1 at Yankee Stadium. Just in case you're wondering, haven't followed the Royals all season long, the MJ in MJ Melendez stands for Merville Samuel. I guess the J is for Junior. Merville Samuel Melendez. For those of you keeping track of such things.
Well, 2 seasons ago, he caught 65 games. Last year, 7 games, but just their left fielder now. He'd be their 3rd catcher in case of an emergency.
Full count. Melendez goes down swinging. 2nd strikeout of the inning for Schmidt. And Gurriel remains at 2nd with 2 out.
Well, Bob, that's the biggest change from 2 seasons ago when he came out of the bullpen. Now on a 3-2 pitch, you don't know what you're going to get. And an outstanding breaking ball there from Clark Schmidt.
Now Michael Garcia, who went 4 for 5 in Game 2, all of the singles. A single here might put the Royals on top. Chase the sweeper, 0-2.
You know what's interesting about this defensive alignment for the Yankees, because Torres is playing up the middle, see how far Cabrera's off first base trying to shore up that hole. Anything down the line is a double or triple.
Wells had to stretch to prevent that one from going to the screen. Schmidt is 6'1", 200. He's 28 years old, a Georgia native. Pitched at the University of South Carolina. His 1-2 to Garcia. Foul back to the screen. Bouncing ball. Cabrera has it. Schmidt has to cover, and that takes care of Garcia and the Royals in the second. No score after 2 in KC.
Seth Lugo on the mound in a scoreless game at Kauffman Stadium, and 550 miles to the south, there they are, the Centenary College gentlemen with head coach Mike Diaz enjoying the work of their great alum Seth Lugo on the mound in Game 3 of the ALDS.
Very cool. Lugo has thrown just 16 pitches in the course of retiring the first 6 hitters he's faced tonight. Ball 1 to Anthony Volpe. Bottom of the order in the top of the third. Volpe, Cabrera, and Verdugo. Now it's true that Lugo, Ron, is by far the most famous baseball alumni from Centenary.
That's right.
But the most famous overall from an athletic standpoint, Robert Parrish,
right,
who excelled for the Boston Celtics for so many years.
Being a guy from Massachusetts, I'd be one of the few that would know that.
Another chance for Witt. It's a tough one. Long throw. It's high, but Gurriel is able to come down on the bag and record the putout.
The Yankees thought that he was still in the air and didn't come down in time. Let's see if they're going to replay it. No. They're going to let it play. He's up in the air. Does he get down right before the foot of Volpe gets there? I don't think so. Well, very close. As close as it can get. Might have got a toe in there to Gurriel.
Aaron Boone and company didn't think it was worth expending a challenge. Call made at first base by Mark Carlson, the crew chief. Lance Barrett has the plate. Carlson at first. Lance Barksdale at second. Roberto Ortiz at third. Adam Hammery down the left field line. Ryan Blakely down the right field line.
Sinking fastball of Lugo has been very effective so far in the game. Of the 7 outs recorded, 4 have been on the ground.
Fouled back by Cabrera.
And almost got Verdugo on the on-deck circle.
Three and one. Cabrera refers to Anthony Rizzo, who's out of the lineup. The Yankees starting first baseman under most circumstances. 2 fractured fingers on his right hand. There's the great veteran, so many years with the Cubs and now with the Yankees for a while. Cabrera refers to him as Mr. Miyagi, referring to the Pat Morita character from The Karate Kid, because he's been a mentor to Cabrera and to John Berti. Berti played his first ever game at first base. Berti's a very versatile player. He's played almost everywhere. Never played a game at first base until game 2 and excelled at that position. Cabrera didn't go, and it's a 1-out walk. So whatever lessons Rizzo is imparting, it's working for both Cabrera and for Berti. Your team, your players, your home for postseason baseball. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app today. Cabrera at first with 1 out is the first Yankee base runner of the night. Here's Verdugo. A ball high, 1-1.
Bob Lugo can be slow to the plate, but he's pretty good at holding runners close. He has a variety of moves that he'll throw over there. He'll sometimes be quick to the plate with a slide move.
Ball strike. For much of his career, Lugo has been a reliever, and he had to expand his repertoire when he became a starter, and he's done it very effectively. You know, a good reliever can get by with 2 pitches, maybe 3 max. But as a starter, you need more than that. And in fact, Lugo threw 206 innings this year. Getting anywhere near 200 in modern baseball is a lot. Only Logan Gilbert of the Mariners, who threw 2 more innings than Lugo, was more of a workhorse than Lugo was this year. Full count now to Verdugo after the 1-out walk to Cabrera. Gleyber Torres awaiting his turn. Cabrera goes on the 3-2 pitch. And it's popped into shallow center field. In comes Isbell, and Cabrera returns to first.
Well, sometimes when you are a starting pitcher, you hold back on some of your best weapons and try to save them when they'll be the most effective. You can see the usage of his curveball has gone down, but in fact, it's become a more effective pitch. There's a lot of old school in Lugo for the way he pitches, how he gets hitters out, how he'll change from at-bat to at-bat.
I remember Tom Seaver telling me once, and as a former Met, you have a great appreciation for the guy they call the franchise, one of the great pitchers of all time. Strike 1 to Torres, and he fouls it back. This was toward the end of his career. He was 40 years old, and he told me, you know, I can still throw 95 or 96, but I only have 5 or 6 of them in my arm in a game. And even then, he was trying to pitch the full 9 innings. He says, I don't want the opposition to know when I'm going to use it. I'm not going to waste it on the number 8 hitter with 2 outs in the 4th inning.
So off Lugo this year, and point to the stolen bases. 5 stolen bases off him this year. That's a very low number. 5 caught stealing.
0-2 pitch to Torres. Fouled away. Speaking of the Mets, they lead the Phillies 4-1 in the top of the 7th at Citi Field. If that holds, the Phillies, who won the division, are gone. And the Mets, who barely made the playoffs, are on to the LCS. Torres checked his swing. Fans thought it should have been strike 3.
With a new format and added wild card, the bye is not working for National League clubs. That ball up and out of the strike zone.
That is a foul ball, and barely so. Well, of the 4 teams who had byes, the Guardians now trail Detroit 2-1. The Dodgers now trail the Padres 2-1. The Phillies, down 2-1, are on the verge of being knocked out of the playoffs late in Game 4 now, trailing 4-1 to the Mets. And the Yankees are even up with Kansas City as we play Game 3. So whatever the advantage is supposed to be, through the first few years of this format, it hasn't played out that way. In fact, through the first 2 years of this format, 3 of the 4 World Series participants have been wild card teams. Full count.
Watch the spin on this pitch. The breaking ball is casted. That's what Lugo does to it. And then it'll make that hard left turn at the end. But of all the Yankee hitters, I think Gleyber Torres has had the best eye and has worked the pitchers the deepest in this lineup for the first 3 games.
He has 4 walks to this point in the series. Cabrera goes. A little bloop. Shallow right field. It lands foul, and barely so. Very close to the chalk.
Adam Frazier didn't take a chance. He threw it in anyway.
Well, Cabrera, who was running on the pitch, was already around third when the play was declared dead.
You know, we always talk about seeing if the chalk flies up. It's not chalk anymore. It's some kind of paint that they roll on. But nothing came up.
Chalk sounds better.
It does sound better.
It's old school on the chalk.
More pastoral.
Yeah, that's right. Well, apparently the Yanks want to check this one out. And it might be worth a look.
Boy, you lose a sight of the ball right there, so it makes me feel like the white of the ball meshed in with the white of the line. You can see Stanton thought it was a fair ball, and he's got a great look at it.
Well, Ryan Blakeney, the right field umpire, 6 homers in the postseason, also had a good look at it. They'll look at every possible angle in the command center in New York, and the replay review is powered by Zoom.
If this goes the Yankees' way, it'll be interesting because then the umpires have to set the runners at the bases that they think they belong at.
My guess would be second and third.
You're right.
Let's see if this angle helps.
It's tough to see from that angle, but the one from right field, you really could see the white of the ball kind of disappear, and that makes you feel as though white on white, they might have caught some line. This is the angle I'm talking about. It gets to a point where you see in the white of the ball and the white of the line, and it kind of melds together right there. And that could be the telltale sign.
And if the ball touches any part of the line, it's a fair ball.
Right.
Even if more of the ball is in foul territory. If even the tiniest fraction touches the line, it's a fair ball.
I know you're a tennis fan. We need maybe the McEnroe cam here to help you see if it hit the line.
You cannot be serious. Call's going to stand. Foul ball.
Shake of the head by Aaron Boone. The visitors' dugout has such a good view. These guys have the best eyes in the world, and he thought that caught some line.
Fly ball to right. Frazier goes back. He goes way back in front of the bullpen. Had some trouble with it, stumbling a bit, but he makes the catch. An eventful third inning, but nothing on the scoreboard.
Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium, where 47 years ago on this date, Game 5 of the 1977 American League Championship Series, a play among many plays in the Royals-Yankees rivalry involving our guest right now, the great George Brett. That play with you and Greg Nettles at third base. George, 47 years ago, what memories come back?
I was spitting chiclets that day because he kicked me in the face, and my hand's getting sore thinking about it, you know, because I unloaded one on his head. But, oh, man, it's just that this rivalry back in the 70s was, I mean, it was unbelievable. In fact, I still feel it. I really do. I mean, I'm nervous. I'm more nervous than the players, and never had a great love relationship with the Yankees. I want to beat them so bad, and I like our chances right now. We're playing pretty good baseball.
What was it about the personalities, George, on those teams through that era, the Royals and Yankees, that made that rivalry so intense?
Well, I think it all started with Hal McRae sliding to Willie Randolph, and then later in that series, Greg Nettles took out Frank White at second base and didn't slide. Lou Piniella and I were teammates when I first got to the Royals, and there was a close play at third base here at the stadium, and I was about 3 feet off the bag. He didn't even slide to the bag with his feet. He slid trying to spike me and grabbed the bag with his hand, and then me and Nettles capped it off. But it was, I don't know what it was, but it was. We used to have one with the Oakland A's, and when we started playing the Yankees in the playoffs, it put the Oakland A's to shame.
George, you're still so close to the team now. You're a vice president of the Royals. You've been enjoying this run. What's unique about the blend of players and personalities on the Royals' current roster?
Well, we don't have a lot of superstars. You know, we have 2 or 3 guys that people know around the country, and Bobby Witt, Sal Perez, and maybe Vinny Pasquantino. Our pitching staff is, you know, Lugo's first year here, Waka's first year here. We got a great young pitcher in Reagan, but everybody else is just a ball player. They're not, like I said, superstars, but they know how to play as a team. They know how to win. We do the little things, you know. We move runners over, we steal bases, play great defense, and as a result, we went from winning 56 games last year to this year being 10 games over. Biggest turnaround I've ever seen, and everybody obviously in Kansas City is very excited about it.
George, you mentioned some of the little things. Back in 1980, you did a very big thing. to win the pennant, the home run at Yankee Stadium. What memories do you hold about that night?
Just how quiet that stadium got. We were down, I think, 1 run. I hit a 3-run home run off Goose in the 7th, or I think it was the 8th inning, and quieted everybody down a little bit. And you know, when you lose to a team in 76, 77, 78, you don't make the playoffs in 79, and then you beat the team that beat you the last 3 years. Obviously, that's one of the greatest thrills of my life, and probably the best swing I've ever taken in my life, to take him in the upper deck with the game on the line. I mean, it's a feeling I'll never forget.
You've shared with me before, George, and many of our viewers would probably be surprised to learn, you and Goose Gossage are very close friends today.
Yes, we're very close friends. Greg Nettles and I used to be great friends. I haven't seen him in a long time. Oh my God, is that going to hit us? No.
Very close. I trusted you, George, more than myself.
I wasn't moving, but Goose and I have become good friends over the years. Reggie Jackson I really despise, and Reggie and I are best friends. We spend a lot of time together in Cooperstown every year, and I spent a little time with Goose there. But Greg Nettles is the guy that I'd love to touch base with, because we were great friends before the fight, and I don't know what he feels about me after the fight.
And a double play to end it and wrap up the bottom of the 3rd. A tense, tight game. George, Brett, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Back with the top of the 4th from Kaufman.
Tear down the empire from the inside out. Academy Award nominee Colin Farrell is the Penguin in the new HBO original limited series, Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Max. How do you not like George Brett, by the way? Great player. Terrific guy, always a hail fellow, well met.
He's spent an entire lifetime being fired up.
Yep. And being nothing but a ball player. Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Austin Wells in the 4th against Seth Lugo. And Soto uses the 1 timeout you're allotted even before a pitch is thrown to him.
Because Lugo tried to quick pitch him before Soto was kind of ready. That's why he had to take the timeout.
Soto flied to the wall in straightaway center, his first time up. This is already Soto's 7th year in the major leagues. He won't be 26 until later this month. And he will be at the head of an interesting free agent class that includes the Mets' Pete Alonso and some others. 3-0. Blake Snell, Max Fried, Alex Bregman, Corbin Burns, Anthony Santander, who hit 44 home runs this year for the Orioles, all will be on the market once this season is over. There's a strike.
Appeared that Soto was taking that all the way, leading off this inning in front of Judge.
Ball 4.
Good close pitch here from Lugo. Just out of the strike zone, according to Lance Barksdale. Lance Barrett, sorry.
Soto, as he always does, walked well over 100 times this year, and his on-base percentage well over 400, as it is every year. Judge lined hard to Witt, who made a leaping catch in the 1st inning. Aaron's hardest hit ball of the series so far, and he was robbed on it. Big cut, and he fouls it back.
He's had a couple of good swings in this game already so far. Seth Lugo this year in those 200+ innings, only 16 home runs allowed. That's a low number.
We do not bring this up to criticize or to be harsh toward one of the game's greatest players and classiest players, really. But when you're this great, it becomes pertinent. And what's pertinent here is his ongoing postseason struggles. Here's a drive to deep left field. Does it have enough? It does not. At the edge of the track, Melendez takes it. I thought he might have changed the narrative on that swing, but no such luck for Judge, who now, since the beginning of the 22 postseason, is 6 for his last 45 in the playoffs with 19 strikeouts mixed in.
That ball spun in the middle of the plate. He was just a little quick and got it off the end of the bat.
Austin Wells takes a strike.
Off the bat, I thought he might have gotten it, but not even to the warning track here in Kansas City.
And just to finish the thought, because it's relevant here, Judge's career postseason batting average now in over 200 plate appearances is right around 200. There have been 13 home runs, but also 70 strikeouts. Hard to escape those facts. The 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Wells thought it was high. Generally, though, a catcher won't put up an extended argument because he wants that call from the plate umpire when he's back behind the plate for his pitcher.
2 pitches were called in that at bat at the top of the strike zone. He saw Salvi pull that ball back down into the strike zone. Gets the call from Barrett.
Second strikeout of the night for Lugo, and now he faces Stanton, who grounded to short his first time up.
Shake of the head from Booney.
Almost imperceptible. Stanton hits one well in the gap at left center field, and that's going to get down. Soto heading for third and being waved home. The peg to the plate is late. It's an RBI double for Stanton, who pumps his fist as he arrives at second base, and the Yanks jump in front 1-0.
Well, one Yankee who has got good postseason numbers is Giancarlo Stanton. That ball was a 1-iron off the left center field wall. It was just whether it was high enough to get out of the ballpark. Hits on the bottom of the wall, and they had a chance at home with the great strong arm of Witt, but he never could get it on line. And Soto hustles in for the first run.
More boos for Chisholm as he settles in. And takes a slurve for a strike. Now the guy's throwing a curve, he's throwing a slider, he's throwing a sweeper, and now there's a slurve. Are we splitting hairs here?
He can do it all and manipulate the baseball. No one better than Lugo.
There's the curve outside, ball 1. Pop back and out of play. Keep in mind, should there be a single to the outfield, it's not a given, even with 2 outs, that Stanton scores from second base. Just missed. Perez held it there, hoping to convince Barrett, who wasn't buying it.
Barrett's marking this as this ball's going around the plate and not catching that outside corner.
Roll to first. Gurriel has it. He beats Chisholm to the bag, and the Yanks settle for 1 in the 4th. The 2024 American League Division Series is presented by Booking.com. Bobby Witt Jr. plied the deep right of the first. Still looking for his first hit in this series. 0 for 11 so far. A strike from Schmidt. Like many aspiring shortstops of which generation, he says Derek Jeter was my guy. You see that bat twirl right there? That's an homage to Dustin Pedroia, because he also liked the Red Sox second baseman around the same time. No play for Soto.
It might be also an homage to his pops, who grew up in Canton, Mass. So Red Sox player in Pedroia.
What do you do with those Yankee Red Sox series and tooth and nail battles through all those years.
That's right.
You can't root for both. You got to pick a side. Oh, 2 pitch. Fouled away.
But Witt Jr. grew up in Texas, so maybe he didn't have to pick a side in those rivalries.
Well, he picked 2 good ones.
Yes, he did.
To model himself after. Another 0-2 pitch. Another pop into foul ground. Cabrera chasing, Soto chasing, over by the tarp, and it falls untouched.
Because this is a little older stadium, there's a little more room in foul territory to track some balls down, but just in the perfect spot in between Cabrera and Soto.
Most of the new stadiums are built with a retro design to give a traditional old school baseball feel, and that's been very popular with fans. And accordingly, they try to have the stands be closer to the field. Not this much distance generally between the diamond and the spectators. Witt chased it. Schmidt got him with the sweeper.
You know, this happened late in the season. You could see the slide there by Soto. I think that was in Oakland. He ended up like banging his knee right into the padding down the right field line.
No such problem there, as both he and Cabrera were heading toward the tarp. That play in Oakland, as I recall, he collided with the sidewall. When Vinny Pasquantino suffered a fractured thumb on August 29th, the Royals were 75-60. The rest of the way, they went 11-16, including a 7-game losing streak, before righting themselves and securing a playoff spot. And Pasquantino returned much sooner from that injury than might have been expected. With him in the lineup, they averaged just under 5 runs a game. With him out, they averaged just under 3 runs a game. That's how important he is, slotted between Bobby Witt Jr. and Sal Perez. 3-0 pitch.
It makes sense. He was up around the league leaders with his 97 RBIs before he got hurt.
The 3-1. Walked him. Pasquantino aboard with 1 out in the 4th.
These fans standing up as Salvi comes to the plate.
It's Matt Blake, the pitching coach. Perez has elder statesman status not just because of the number of years, but because of his presence. He's almost like a second manager on the field, which is true of some catchers, but not all. A 1 pitch. In the air to right center field, Judge and Soto. It's Judge who takes it. And Pasquantino returns to first. Let's go back to what happened in Game 2 when Cole Reagans, one of the best pitchers in the game these days, was losing command, and what Perez did.
Well, it's interesting that a lot of times a manager will talk to his catcher in between innings to see how the pitcher's throwing. But that instant, as he went out to talk to Reagans, he signaled to the bench, get someone up. Quatrero told us he already had 2 guys up, so they were ready.
Here's Gurriel, who had a double his first time up in this game. But also, Perez said afterwards, I didn't signal until Reagans turned his back.
No pitcher wants to see a catcher signaling to the bullpen or the bench.
Right center field, Soto drifting back, and that'll do it in the Kansas City fourth. 1-0 Yanks.
The shortstops tonight are adversaries, but also longtime friends. Anthony Volpe and Bobby Witt Jr. They were actually the double play combination. They won gold at that under-18 Pan American Championships. Undefeated dynamic double play combo. Corbin Carroll, Riley Green, many of the game's great young players were also on that team. And both of Anthony's parents are here in attendance tonight as well.
Thank you, JP. Yanks come up in the fifth, leading 1-0. Seth Lugo has allowed just one hit, but a leadoff walk to Soto in the fourth burned him because the lone Yankee hit was a double to the left center field gap by Giancarlo Stanton. That scored Soto, and that's all the scoring in the game to this point. Oh-2 pitch to Volpe. Inside 2-2. We mentioned earlier that Lugo logged more than 200 innings, a rarity these days. Now, even though both teams have used their bullpens liberally, and there was an off day yesterday, there are back-to-back games 3 and 4 here in Kansas City. So as long as he's effective, if Lugo can go deeper into this game, that matters.
He's one of the best in baseball, Bob. 13 times he went 7 innings or deeper.
3-2 pitch through the middle for a leadoff hit for Volpe.
Well, he finally had to come into Volpe and a pitch right down the middle of the plate. Good swing by Anthony, all over it with a bullet to center field.
Here's Cabrera, who walked in the third. Squares, pulls back, takes a ball. Cabrera is a switch hitter, and that's the way they still list him. But on occasion, he's batted left-handed against lefties late in this season. Obviously doesn't apply here, but could later on. Suddenly, Lugo struggling with his control. He had Volpe 0-2, then ran the count to 3-2 before Volpe singled sharply up the middle. Now he's behind Cabrera 3-0, and a conference on the mound.
He was very aggressive in the first couple innings. The last 2 innings, his control has wavered. He had the bigger year, but Clark Schmidt so far has had a better outing.
The 2024 MLB postseason on TBS is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands, and by Jim Beam. Best enjoyed together. And please drink responsibly. The 3-2 pitch. A single and then a walk. 2 on with nobody out.
The Yankees have done a great job of starting innings in this series so far. They're 6 for 14 with 8 walks to lead off an inning. They haven't been able to finish that many innings with their offense yet.
Would you have Verdugo bunt?
No, I'd have him swing away. Verdugo has been one of their better hitters.
He squares, he bunts, and he fouls it back.
Whenever I'm asked that question, Bob, I always say it with the caveat that very few hitters can really bunt anymore. That's the problem. I mean, this, you have to get the bat ball down in front. You have to bend your legs. You got to boldly get in there to get that ball down.
It's less and less a part of the game.
Yeah.
But it comes in handy, perhaps more so in the postseason when you're likely to play closer games against good pitching. He squared again, pulled back, took a ball.
That's one of those where the square around by Verdugo might have fooled Barrett because that ball looked like it was at the bottom of the strike zone.
Once again, he looks to bunt and gets it down. It's a good one. They have to take the play at first, and it's a successful sacrifice.
I'm out. Well, here comes Gurriel from first. No chance because of the break from Volpe, who's got good speed at second base, so he's just got to get the sure out at first.
Sacrifice goes 3-4. And in the 5th inning of a 1-run game, the Royals pull the infield in. Oh! Angel Serpa getting ready.
Remember Lugo's first start in the wild card series against Baltimore, he only lasted 4 1/3. Ended up leaving that start with the bases loaded, and Serpa had to come in and save him and the Royals.
Lugo's 1-1 pitch nearly hit Torres. Soto on deck. Foul to the seats. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Torres. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, and the infield in.
Well, a lot of times if you're an infielder, you want to take a peek at Volpe at third just to see if he's committing to home and is going to go on contact. He absolutely is, being very aggressive down that line at third.
Full count. Another walk. The bases are loaded for Soto.
The exact same situation that he had in his first start against Baltimore. Bases loaded in the 5th inning for Lugo. Decision time for Quatrero.
Back on September 10th at Yankee Stadium, Lugo threw 7 shutout innings, allowed only 3 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 10. That's the last time he faced the Yankees before tonight.
Different Lugo tonight, and the worst situation maybe you can have in the game with Soto and Judge coming up.
All 1 high. Lugo looked very strong at the outset, setting down the first 7 hitters he faced. Very economical with his pitches. Not so much right now. 2-0 to Soto.
First 7 outs of the game, 4 of them came on the ground. He needs a ground ball right now.
Tap foul.
That's what he left his first start against Baltimore in the wild card series with exactly 82 pitches in the 5th inning.
Soto spins away. 3 balls and a strike. No place to put him. And Judge waiting next.
This was just a bad breaking ball here. Maybe a slider from Lugo that he got underneath.
Huge pitch coming. And Soto drives it to right center field. It'll score at least a run. Catch made by Isbell. Volpe tags, scores the Yankees' 2nd run. Cabrera scoots to 3rd. Torres holds first.
Maybe one of the most difficult batters in all the game to face in that kind of situation. He does not chase bad pitches, very rarely hits the ball on the ground, and he comes through with the sac fly.
So a sacrifice bunt and a sacrifice fly in this inning for the Yankees.
Brian Sweeney out to talk to his right-hander. This is one of those moments that Yankee fans and Judge fans have been waiting for.
A chance to bust the game wide open.
There you go. So Serpa and Schreiber up in the bullpen for Kansas City. They were used in game 1.
Judge is lined to short. Spectacular leaping catch by Witt. Then lined to deep left. A ball and a strike. Cabrera at third, Torres at first. Fly ball center field. Isbell circles under it. The Yankees score 1, they leave 2. And after 4.5 in game 3, they lead it 2-0.
Starters Michael Walker, Cole Reagans as they go over his start.
Swinging strike for Melendez, who struck out his first time up. Last year, only one of the 6 division winners, both leagues combined, made it as far as the LCS. And that was the Astros, who actually tied for first place in their division with the Rangers and got the division title on a tiebreaker. So what happens over 162, at least in the early returns, doesn't matter that much in October. That is hit right on the nose, but Judge is right there and Melendez is retired. Here's the upcoming schedule. Later tonight, NLDS Game 4, Dodgers and Padres. Padres looking to do to the Dodgers what they did in 2022, knock them out in the divisional series and up 2-1. That's at 9 Eastern time on FS1. Then tomorrow, 6 Eastern time on TNT and Max. It's game 4 for the Guardians and Tigers. And then we're back here at 8 o'clock on TBS, True TV, and Max for game 4 of Yankees Royals. They'll reprise the game 1 pitching matchup, Michael Wacha and Garrett Cole. Strike 1 pitch to Garcia. It gets by Schmidt, but not by Torres. Can Cabrera hold the bag? He can. 2 outs, and we'll check again with JP.
Bob, I think one illustration to point out here on the way the playoffs have unfolded is this. There was not a single team in Major League Baseball this year that won 100 or more games. Further to that point, remember, there's not been back-to-back champions in Major League Baseball since the Yankees nearly a quarter century ago. The gap between the best teams and that next tier down has never been tighter.
Dodgers won the most, 98 this year. They could think about that now in the offseason. They have been so excellent for so many years. And yet, except for the 2020 situation, here's a roller to the left side. A high throw from Volpe. Frazier's going to be safe. You can't shift anymore, but they were shaded all the way over to the right for Frazier. And Volpe had to race over to try and field it. Got there. Frazier beats it out, and it's scored as a hit.
Yeah, Frazier kind of jammed himself, hit the ball softly to Volpe, who was trying to make up for it with a big, strong throw, but overthrew Cabrera at first base. Stayed in play, so he'll stay on first.
He's aboard with 2 out for Kyle Isbell, who was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Here's something else about this new format. It provides some excitement, also devalues the regular season to some extent. But you look at the Yankees and Royals here. The Yankees payroll is roughly 3 times that of the Royals. And the combined payrolls of the 3 teams still alive in the American League, other than the Yankees, the Royals, the Guardians, and the Tigers, the 3 combined barely exceed the Yankees payroll alone. But by separating into 3 divisions, and with the Central Division teams in both leagues generally not being among the biggest spenders, and by adding a 3rd wild card and giving teams like Kansas City or others the feeling that, hey, we don't have to win 95. If we can win 85, 86, 87, even though we hope to build a team that can win 100 games, if we can win in the mid-80s, we can qualify for the playoffs, and the results show that anything can happen.
Well, Aaron Boone told us today, he said, when I see the teams on the field, I see them more evenly matched than most people see them, and it's baseball. Anything can happen in a short series.
Schmidt to Isbell. Called strike. So the new format, in addition to providing more excitement for more fan bases, it actually has helped to mitigate the concern about payroll differentials. Outside, 1-1. There's Clay Holmes, once the closer, but with a redefined role, he's been effective.
He was used in the 6th inning of game 1. You can see him being the guy to get out of a tough inning if one occurs. Holmes certainly up just in case the lineup turns over and Massey gets on base as well, and then that brings up Witt Jr.
Frazier away from first. Isbell, who homered 8 times this year, tying run at the plate. 2-2. Michael Massey, the leadoff man, waits on deck. Full count now, so Frazier will be off.
Cabrera telling Schmidt that he's going to play behind him. He's got to get his attention first with this large crowd and all the noise.
I'm not sure that Schmidt has acknowledged him.
No, he has not. Locked in on the hitter.
Frazier takes off. 3-2 pitch, hit down the left field line, and it's a fair ball right against the wall. An RBI double for Isbell. That ball appeared to be slicing toward foul territory, but it stayed in play. An RBI double, and it's a 2-1 game. Frazier running on the pitch, 3-2 with 2 outs. No chance for the Yankees to make a play at the plate.
Schmidt challenged him with a fastball up and away, and Isbell somehow was able to keep that fair. And as it rolled along the wall, got away from Verdugo for just a split second, allowing Frazier, who was running, to score easily.
Energizing the crowd. Here's Massey. Base hit could tie it. Strike 1.
Massey's had an interesting postseason. He has 6 hits off 6 different pitchers, off 6 different pitches.
Foul to the seats, 0-2. Bobby Witt Jr. on deck.
Runners in scoring position and 2 outs against Clark Schmidt this year. Team hit .087 off Schmidt. He needs an out here.
It's down and in for a ball. Adam Frazier, who scored the Royals' first run, got the start tonight because coming in he was 4 for 8 with a homer and 2 doubles off Schmidt. Managed an infield single with 2 outs in this inning, then rode home on the double by Isbell. Now the 1-2 to Massey. 2-2. All 5 left-handed hitters that Matt Quatraro has on his roster are in the starting lineup. All 6 bench players swing right-handed. Hasn't had to use any of them yet. Hit right on the nose. Soto in pursuit, dives and he gets by him. It's going to tie the game. Isbell comes home. Massey around second, looking for a triple. And he's in there. All with 2 out. Infield single by Frazier. Opposite field double by Isbell. And then Massey scorches one that Soto might have done better to play in front of him. Lunged for it, it got by him. The game is tied.
Can't question
And
that.
Schmidt is done.
Sorry, Bob, I couldn't question that because Soto, with 2 outs, was trying to make that great play to get Schmidt and the Yankees out of that inning.
Guess who's at the ballpark? Well, first we'll watch the double by Isbell. And there's Patrick Mahomes whooping it up. Happier still after the triple from Massey. Superstar quarterback of the 5-0 Super Bowl champion Chiefs, who won here on Monday night against the Saints. And in case you didn't know, he owns a 1% stake in the Royals. And of course he has a baseball connection because his dad, Pat Holmes, pitched many years in the major leagues, his best season with the Mets in 1999 when he went 8-0. Clay Holmes in the game. Bobby Witt Jr. to the plate. He's flied to deep right and struck out. 0 for 12 in the series.
See mostly sinking fastball from Holmes combined with his sweeper. Got as much movement on the 2-seamer as anyone in the game.
Two and one to Witt. Going back to the play that turned out to be a triple for Massey. Soto obviously thinking there's no way that Isbell doesn't score from second if he holds it to a single. So we tried to make the catch that would end the inning. It got by him, turned into a triple. 3 balls and a strike.
Royals doing what they did so well in game 2. They had 5 2-strike hits in game 2. Add a couple more tonight in this inning.
Witt holds up and draws the walk. Yankee fan and Royal fan peacefully coexisting, at least for the moment, side by side. So now Matt Blake, the pitching coach, wants to talk it over with Holmes as Pasquantino comes to the plate.
Blake just going to mention the arm slot of Clay Holmes seemed a little higher than it did over at Yankee Stadium, but more importantly, how to maybe manage Bobby Witt Jr. running at first base. I don't even know if he's going to be able to do that because of the speed of Witt.
In addition to everything else he did in a remarkable season, Witt swiped 31 bases.
He's happy to be at first.
Massey runs well. He's at third. They possibly talked about whether you throw through if Witt tries to steal. In which case Massey might sprint for home. But Pasquantino has been a big RBI guy for them. And here he is in this spot taking ball 1. Fly ball to center. Judge under it. The Royals score 2, they leave 2. And after 5, it's a 2-2 game. The 2024 American League Division Series is presented by Booking.com.
Tied at 2 after a riveting 5th inning in KC. There's a look at Patrick Mahomes. You might be wondering, who is this Yankee fan that he was having some fun with? Well, that is Gehrig Dieter, his longtime teammate with the Kansas City Chiefs. They actually won a championship together. Gehrig Dieter, Bob, is from a great baseball family. How do we know that? Well, Gehrig himself is named after Lou Gehrig. His brother Thurman, named after Thurman Munson. His brother Nolan, named after Nolan Ryan.
Now, how does Nolan Ryan figure since he never played for the Yankees? I'm mystified.
Angel Zerpa in for the Kansas City Royals had control issues in Game 1, but was sound and good in Game 2.
So both starters are done. It'll be a no decision for each of them as we go to the 6th, tied 2-2. Stanton had an RBI double his last time up. The line on Lugo, 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, and that hurt him. He struck out 2. 0-2 to Stanton. The thinking by Quatrero here as he goes to Serpa. 2 of the 3 hitters scheduled, as you know, a reliever, unless he closes the inning, has to face a minimum of 3 hitters. 2 of the 3, Stanton being the exception, are left-handed. Wells flied out, Stanton at the plate, Chisholm on deck. It's time for more baseball, presented by Geico.
Previous at bat, the double by Stanton, 114 miles an hour off the bat.
He doesn't connect as frequently as he once did, but when he does, he hits it just as hard as he ever did. Like that, up the middle for his 2nd hit of the night.
Just rippling forearms that make him so dangerous as he hits another bullet up the middle.
And more boos for Chisholm, who's grounded out twice and takes ball 1. Two relievers throwing now in the Royal bullpen. Right-handed John Schreiber, who's been up for a while, now joined by lefty Sam Long. Up in the zone, 2-1.
Well, with the game tied 2-2, both of these teams are going to take their shot tonight, which could affect tomorrow night, but you don't worry about tomorrow night. Got to get this game.
Count evens. The 2-2. Tap foul at the plate.
Ball might have been fouled, came up and hit Chisholm in the cheek or in the face.
Laughing it off.
Yep.
Literally.
Here's the foul ball.
Hit him in the back.
Oh, just got him in the back.
Called strike 3. Cheering just a bit louder because in this case it's Chisholm who's making the walk back to the dugout. And Contreras making the walk to the mound. So Serpa faces the minimum 3. And with the right-handed hitting Volpe due up next, Schreiber will come in. Wear what the players are wearing during this postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com for your favorite postseason team gear. Just like Patrick Mahomes. John Schreiber pitched a 1-2-3 6th inning on Monday night in the Bronx. Retired Stanton, Chisholm, and the guy he'll face now, Volpe.
In game 1 on Saturday night, he got out of a mess, but not before walking a run in.
Ball 1 to Volpe, who's grounded out and single.
Schreiber a little tougher on righties, with kind of slings it from a 3/4 action, throws across his body. Good fastball and sweeper. This is what I was talking about before. It's what you see if you're a right-handed hitter. Drops down, tries to fire it towards that outside corner.
Stanton runs. How about this? Stanton steals second. They fell asleep on him, and I guess he could almost sleepwalk into second base.
But watch the jump. They're not holding him on, so he can go as far as Yuli Gurriel goes. Took another couple of steps, and he took the base.
Now the 2-1 to Volpe. Oh, that sweeper bent in there. Volpe gave up on it, and it dropped in for the strike.
Barrett likes it. I thought it was inside, and so did Volpe.
Stanton at second with his first stolen base of this year. In fact, his first in 4 years. And the 2-2 pitch. Full count. And we'll do it again.
Interesting part of that stolen base from Stanton is a base hit here by Volpe. Will they send him? And will it turn into a run? Maybe he's channeling 5 or 6 years ago.
Yankees third base coach Luis Rojas. He may have to decide. Volpe hangs in there, spoiling the sweeper and poking it foul. Series tied at 1, game tied at 2. Volpe draws the walk, and now it's up to Oswaldo Cabrera.
Respect there from Schreiber to Volpe. He did not want to give in and threw the breaking pitch on the 3-2 count and missed.
Cabrera has walked twice tonight. Old-fashioned hardball that time. Four-seamer up in the zone, threw it by him. That one's inside.
Uncharacteristic of this Royals pitching staff, but in this series, 8 walks in the first game, 5 in game 2, and now 5 tonight.
Displeasing Brian Sweeney. Got the call on that one. 3 straight fastballs, and he's ahead on the count, 1-2. Meanwhile, Tommy Kahnle is up in the Yankee bullpen. We may see him next.
Why you're not running for Stanton? Well, there's 2 outs. Stanton's had the best at bats of your offense, and you know he's going to get a couple more at bats.
Fouled away. Now, should the next pitch miss, then the concerns about Stanton's lack of speed go away, because he's going to get the jump on a 3-2 pitch if it happens that way. Down the left field line. No play against the screen. Melendez, Witt, and Garcia all chased after it. Neither had a chance. Schreiber, the 3rd Royal pitcher of the night, with another 2-2 pitch to Cabrera. And there is the full count. Verdugo is the on-deck hitter.
One of those times as an infielder you remind yourself, anything that you can't get to, you dive to keep it in the infield.
Stanton and Volpe will be off. Center field, Isbell started back, now comes in, and that'll do it. The Yankees lead 2, and after 5.5, it's still a 2-all game. Geico. Get more baseball and get more with Geico. Perez, Gurriel, and Melendez in the Kansas City 6th. Clay Holmes out of the Yankee bullpen. Strike 1.
Holmes is never allowed a run in the postseason. 11 innings of work.
Bouncing ball to his left. Torres has time, almost pulled Cabrera off the bag. But that's the first out, and we go back to JP.
Now up, Yuli Gurriel, who this year was the oldest position player in the American League. It is the value of experience. I spoke with him before this game, Bob, and he said to me he feels less pressure now than he did 20 years ago at the Athens Olympic Games playing for Cuba, which won the gold medal at that event. So, Bob, you were there in person as well.
I was. I didn't get out to the ballpark. I was kind of, in the broadcast center, but I saw almost everything at one time or another on the monitors and took note. The Cuban team then was really an international power. Ball one to Gurriel, who is playing in his 91st postseason game and in his 20th overall playoff series. Every year, often deep into the postseason with the Astros between 2018 and 2023.
Had a double in his first at bat.
Chopper to third. Chisholm, long throw, got him. Chisholm is new to the position, but the arm comes with him. He has a cannon.
Yes, he does. Aaron Boone commented on that. He's played so many positions in his young career. Second base, shortstop, last couple of seasons in center field before coming over from Miami, and now a third baseman.
If you know anything at all about Jazz Chisholm, that isn't hateful, it's playful. That's his personality. Melendez has struck out and lined out. One and one. Holmes a strike away from working a 1-2-3 inning. He has accepted the change in role without complaint, and in fact it's worked out well for him and for his team. He hasn't just done a pretty good job in the new role, which is basically to come in wherever Aaron Boone wants him. Aaron Boone operating with the philosophy, I need 27 outs and I'll mix and match out of my bullpen any way I have to in order to get them. And Holmes has excelled, and Weaver has taken over as the closer, and he's been terrific in that role. In center field, Judge gliding back, makes the catch, and in fact, Holmes works a perfect sixth. It remains a 2-2 game. This election, follow the best political team in the business. Follow the insights from the world's top journalists. Follow CNN. The new pitcher is Sam Long. Began the year at AAA Omaha, where he posted an ERA of 1.3. Then they had to call him up. Pitched in 19 games in the first half of the season. ERA 2.33.
3-year veteran, San Francisco, the Giants, and the Oakland Athletics.
Verdugo starts it against him in the 7th. So the first half of the season, he remained hot, coming off his strong performance at AAA. Overall, 43 games for the full season with Kansas City, 3-3, 3.16 ERA. Not bad.
Fastball around 94, 95 miles an hour, and the good curveball.
Bouncing ball, charging is Massey. Flip on the run to get Verdugo.
Now that had some mustard on it. Catch the game like never before with Google Cloud AI.
So the Royals make the move here to Young because they've got something of a lefty lane. Verdugo left-handed, Torres right-handed, then Soto from the left side. If anybody gets on, it's Judge, but after having faced 3 hitters, the Royals would have an opportunity, if they wanted to use it, to go to the bullpen again. And in fact, Brady Singer, who we haven't seen yet, normally the 4th guy in their starting rotation, is warming up in the bullpen. Hit sharply down to 3rd. Garcia has it, and he throws Torres out. More from JP.
Bob, a great story at MLB.com by Ann Rogers earlier this year about Sam Long's journey. He was released out of the minor leagues by the Rays in 2018 and began EMT training. He said he always wanted to help people, wanted to become a firefighter. He was also teaching some youth baseball lessons. He posted a video of himself throwing off a mound again in early 2019 to X at the time. The White Sox saw it, signed him. 5 years later, he's pitching now against the Yankees in the postseason.
So maybe someday he'll be a fireman. But here he's a fireman of a different sort. The way they used to refer to relievers back in the day.
So you have the scout that goes down to the Dominican or Puerto Rico, Venezuela. You have the scout that's an advanced scout to advance the team that you're going to play against. And then the one on social media.
Yeah.
Checking all the videos to make sure.
There's the guy in the attic. 2-1 to Soto. Long trying to close out the inning and avoid Judge. 2-2. Everybody up now at the K. And the 2-2 pitch rolled foul.
Just an amazing hitter. Nasty pitch there from long, completely fooled with Soto, and he's still able to foul it off.
Full count.
Soto smacking that right hip, reminding himself to stay in there.
As he so often does. You know, this is often just a trite phrase, doesn't apply, but it does with Soto. He works a walk.
You're always trying as the pitcher to work the hitter. He works the pitchers.
Yes. And as we suspected, once they get to Judge and once Long has faced the 3, they're not going to let him face Aaron Judge. They'll go to Brady Singer. Back to Kansas City after this. The listed capacity at Kauffman Stadium is 37,903, but with standing room, the announced crowd tonight is nearly 3,000 more than that. 40,312, and why not? First postseason game here in 9 years. Out of the bullpen, Brady Singer. Judge is 5 for 12 against him. Hasn't homered, but 5 for 12. Strike one. Singer started twice against the Yankees this year and got pounded. 10 2/3, 12 hits, 10 runs, 9 of them earned, 2 home runs thrown in. His 0-1 pitch. 0-2 to Judge.
.127 career games for Singer. 124 of them starts.
Joel Sherman, very insightful writer for the New York Post, had a piece about Aaron Judge and his now prolonged postseason woes. And he ended it with this. The other Aaron Boone, has a greater signature postseason moment for the Yankees than does Aaron Judge. The home run off the late great knuckleballer Tim Wakefield that won the pennant in 2003. Judge, one of his generation's greatest players, is yet to have a memorable postseason moment. He's too good for that to go on much longer.
He's never had a postseason home run in the 7th inning or later that's tied the game or put the Yankees ahead.
Soto runs on the 3-2 pitch. Did Judge check his swing? He did not. They punch him out. A lip reader's delight as you look at Aaron Boone. Aaron Judge strikes out. You can be a part of history by helping select the 2024 All-MLB team presented by MGM Rewards. Vote today for the players you believe have the best performances this season. Terms and conditions apply. See MLB.com/AllMLB for details. Between innings, Aaron Boone with his bench coach Brad Ausmus, who is a very good big league catcher and has managed the Tigers and the Angels. They were looking at the iPad to check on the call that punched Aaron Judge out. Meanwhile, Tommy Kahnle becomes the 3rd Yankee pitcher of the night.
Well, the entire bench was enraged, and they should be. Not a good call by the first base umpire, Carlson. I did not think he swung at that. Check swing all the way.
So the fans at Kauffman Stadium have stretched. They settle back into their seats, and Michael Garcia, who had 4 hits in Game 2 and is 0 for 2 tonight, leads it off in the bottom of the 7th.
is the prevailing thought.
Well, words to that effect. The 2-1 pitch. Shallow right. Soto digging hard, gets there.
Well, ball in the air looked like for a second that it had a chance to drop in, but good closing here by Soto makes this play look easy. Tommy Kingley now waiting for his right fielder to get back into position on the road in his postseason career. ERA 0.48.
Adam Frazier. 1 for 2 against Schmidt. A strikeout and an infield single. That's a fair ball in front of the plate. Wells is on it, and he throws Frazier out.
Kingley has such a good changeup, gets a lot of balls off the end of the bat, and this one just 12 feet in front of the plate.
Kyle Isbell, big RBI double his last time up. That brought him to within 1, and then when Massey tripled, he scored the run that tied the game. As we move to the late stages, left-hander Tim Hill, right-hander Luke Weaver up in the Yankee bullpen now.
There you go.
Slow roller. Cabrera near the bag, easy play, and that's that. A 1-2-3 7th. On to the 8th, still 2-2. Each season, the Hank Aaron Award is given to the best overall offensive performer in each league. You can cast your vote for the 2024 award by scanning the QR code or enter at MLB.com/Aaron. As it turns out, Brady Singer pitched to only one man, Aaron Judge, struck him out on a disputed third strike call. And now the 6th Royal pitcher of the night is Kris Bubic.
Well, Kris Bubic got 6 tough outs in game 2, but because of the off day, he's available here tonight.
And another left, right, left situation in terms of the hitters due for the Yanks. Wells, Stanton, then Chisholm.
But Bubic is very neutral with that good changeup. He gets right-handers out as well.
In there for a strike. In game 1 of this series, the Yankees used 5 pitchers, the Royals 6. In game 2, the Yankees used 8 and the Royals 5, a combined 13. Tonight, the Yankees have used but 3, but Bubic is the 6th for the Royals. So in the postseason, it's all hands on deck.
Yes, it is. Well, both teams have not gotten a lot of length from their starters.
1-2 pitch. Struck him out. He walks away, so he's forfeited the at-bat. Perez made sure. Once he's walked that far, he doesn't have to tag him or throw to first to make it official. Tonight's StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud.
I mean, it just tells you about Stanton in this lineup tonight. That's why he wasn't pinch run for. He is the guy hitting the ball the hardest in this lineup.
He has an RBI double, a single, and surprise of surprises, a stolen base.
Quite a success story for Chris Bubic to just be here coming off Tommy John surgery in 2023. They've really pushed him in the pen.
Slider is in there. 2 balls and a strike. Bubic falls behind Stanton, 3-1. Chisholm next. High fly ball, deep left field. Back goes Melendez. Forget about it. It's gone. In large part, this night has belonged to Giancarlo Stanton. And he gives the Yankees the lead, 3-2 in the 8th.
You know, Bob, in the postseason, when it's so hard to know who to count on in the post, Stanton is the guy you can always count on to take good at-bats and to provide big hits. None bigger than that home run there.
His 12th career postseason homer and barely more than 100 at-bats. Took a 3-1 pitch and launched it 417 feet to give the Yankees the lead.
That was the 3rd spinning breaking ball in a row from Bubic. And Stanton measured one.
Beyond the fence, beyond the bullpen. And the Yankees go up 3-2 in the 8th. One more look.
Just know when he covers it, it's going to be out of the ballpark. Hit some of the longest home runs you've ever seen in the postseason.
Now the 2-1 to Chisholm. A mile-high pop. When it comes down, it's in Gurriel's glove.
Well, the boos again for Jazz Chisholm, but boy, did Stanton quiet this crowd.
Well, the Royals have 6 more outs to do something about what is just a 1-run deficit. But if the Yankees should win tonight, they've got Garrett Cole going in Game 4 to try and lock it down. And if the teams split here, they go back to New York, off day Friday. Game 5 would be Saturday night at Yankee Stadium. Volpe 1 for 2 with a walk. Top of the order for the Royals in the bottom of the 8th. Massey, Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, Sal Perez if anyone gets on base.
You know, you brought Bubic in to face the left-handers. Left-handers hitting 286 off him this year. Right-handed hitters only 200. But it was a right-hander Stanton that he could not retire.
What was it that Mark Twain said? There are lies, damn lies, and statistics. And then it was Vin Scully who said, you know, some people use statistics the way a drunk uses a lamppost, for support, not illumination. I only cite the greats, Twain and Scully.
There you go.
Down to first he goes with 2 out.
Just a spinning breaking ball right in the middle of the plate. And like I said, the third one in a row. Moonshot by Stanton. I've seen him hit some postseason home runs. I remember the one that he hit off Tyler Glasnow in San Diego during the pandemic postseason.
Brian Sweeney, the pitching coach, went to the mound. They stick with Bubic. And Cabrera, as we noted earlier, listed as a switch hitter, is good about left-handed against the southpaw Bubic. Ball 1. You know, that wasn't a prototypical Stanton home run. Most of them were like missiles that have a different trajectory than that one. And when it left the bat, it looked like it might have just been a long fly ball, but when someone that strong connects, the ball almost seems to have a second gear.
Well, we've seen a lot of balls stay in the ballpark today because of this big ballpark, but he's superhuman.
Two-one pitch. 3 balls and a strike. Verdugo on deck. The Yankees have taken the lead against Bubic. Now his assignment is to just keep it close. Three and 2. Volpe will take off from first. There he goes, and here it comes. Did he check his swing? No. Ball 4. Back-to-back 2-out walks.
That ball was inside. Perez, sitting on that outside corner, had to reach across his body. And if it was on the corner, no call from Barrett. Cabrera knew all the way.
Verdugo 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. Bouncing ball to Gurriel. And that'll finish the Yankees at the top of the 8th. But Giancarlo Stanton gives them the lead with a 17-foot home run. And we go to the bottom of the 8th in a 3-2 game. The 2024 American League Division Series is presented by Booking.com.
Now Giancarlo Stanton's second 3-hit game in the postseason, and a great note from Brian Hoke of MLB.com. This is the Yankees' first go-ahead home run in the 8th inning or later of a postseason game since Raul Ibanez in Game 3 of the 2012 American League Division Series.
Interesting note. Tommy Kahnle worked a 1-2-3 7th. He stays in this one-run game. Massey with a pop down the left field line, and neither Verdugo nor Chisholm can get to it. Massey, Witt, Pasquantino in the Kansas City 8th. As you would expect, Luke Weaver getting ready for the 9th and anticipating a save situation. But Kahnle's got to work through the 8th. Massey is grounded at first, hit into a double play, and then delivered a game-tying triple in the 5th. Another 0-2 pitch. Cut on and missed. One out in the Royal 8th.
You know, after that home run before the game, Giancarlo Stanton was working with Brad Ausmus, the bench coach, and looking at his swing on the iPad, figured out something, and boy, did it play tonight with this go-ahead home run for the Yankees to make it 3-2. He's feeling it tonight.
All right, so here's the move now by Boone. Canely is done, and he'll go to Luke Weaver right now, asking him for a 5-out save. Luke Weaver looking to close out this 8th inning and then come out for the 9th and nail down the win if all goes well for him. First hitter he faces, Bobby Witt Jr., who's 0 for 5 in his career against him with a couple of walks.
Weaver was asked to get 4 outs in the save in game 1. Has to get 5 outs in this game in September and October. He's 3-0 with 5 saves and 28 strikeouts in 13 innings at 13 2/3 innings.
George Brett looking on. Witt 0 for 2 with a walk tonight and 0 for 12 so far in the series.
Mom and Dad there watching Bobby Witt. He's looking for his Brett moment in a Royals uniform.
But Brett had so many of those moments.
Got to start somewhere.
3 homers off Catfish Hunter in the same game. The upper deck blast off Gossage to seal a pennant in 1980. Incredible series against Toronto in '85. That's why he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. The 1-1 from Weaver to Witt.
With Weaver, you're going to get 95 plus, 4-seamer, stays true in the strike zone, a sweeping curveball, and a great changeup.
Hit toward the hole and through. First hit of the series for Witt. He's aboard representing the tying run with 1 out in the 8th.
The weight of the world off the shoulders of the senior. Nice hitting here. Found a hole. Good changeup from Weaver. Good pitch. Better hitting to find a hole.
He dives back. It's a 1-run game. He's a good base stealer. Pasquantino at the plate. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. 0 for 11 in the series. Line drive, base hit to center field. It was smothered out there. I don't know if it was caught.
It was caught.
Oh my gosh. What a play. It's a good thing that Witt saw it before I did. He slammed on the brakes and went back.
Well, it looked off the bat like it was going to be a line drive to center, but it was off the end of the bat. So it kind of fluttered out there and gave Volpe enough time to get on it. And because of the dive, Witt's able to get back to first base. Right off the end. And it comes back like a knuckleball back to Volpe. What a play.
I thought for sure that was destined for center field. Volpe had a better read on it than I did. Here's Perez. 0 for 3 on the night. Perez had 27 homers for the season. Had one in game 2 of this series at Yankee Stadium. Patrick Mahomes trying to will him to do something here. Perez knocked home 104 on the season, with the tying run at first with 2 out. Popped wide of first. No play.
Good job by Weaver. He held the ball, and when Witt's been on first, a couple extra clicks 2 times now, kind of froze Witt at first before delivering the ball to the plate. Surprised he hasn't gone yet. I know you can always look for the 2-run home run from Perez, but Weaver's tough.
Not going. Pitch is high, 2-2. Hit toward the middle. Volpe can't get to that one. Here goes Witt for third. The tying run is 90 feet away.
With 2 strikes, another 2-strike hit by this Kansas City offense. Witt easily with that speed goes first to third. Just thought he would steal a base earlier in the count, and that might have tied the game, but they'll need another hit now.
Blake, not Boone, to the mound. So this is a strategy session.
They have a whole group of people who are dedicated to working with arenas and sports teams on strategies to eliminate and reduce their waste.
Yuli Gurriel had a double in the second. After that, flied out, grounded out.
I mean, an acquisition for a guy you didn't have for most of the season. Who would be better battle tested than Yuli Gurriel for this situation right here?
At age 40, he had only 54 at-bats during the season. Witt at third, Perez at first. That's going to make the seats. Pham, Tommy Kahnle. A drive to center. Judge has it lined up. The Royals leave a couple to the top of the ninth. Yanks 3, Royals 2. Here's a look at the upcoming schedule. Actually, the Dodgers and Padres in their game 4 underway now. Mookie Betts has a home run, and the Dodgers lead it, trying to stay alive and tie that series 2-2. They lead it 3-0 early. Tomorrow, pair of game 4s in the American League. Guardians and Tigers, 6 Eastern Time, TNT and Max. Back here at Kauffman Stadium, game 4, Yankees and Royals, 8 Eastern Time, TBS, True TV, and Max. Michael Lorenzen is the 7th Kansas City pitcher in this game. Gleyber Torres leads it off in the 9th.
Lorenzen made 18 starts for Texas, was traded to Kansas City, made 6 more starts for the Royals, but now has appeared as in relief here in the postseason. Got the loss in game 1, gave up stolen base to Chisholm and the base hit to Verdugo. Charged with a heavy task of getting through this inning here, not allowing a run to keep the Royals only one behind. Meat of the order.
Torres, Soto, Judge. 2-1. Check swing. Slow roller picked up by Lorenzen, who tags Torres. More on Lorenzen from J.P. Morosi.
Bob, Michael is from Orange County, California, always loves to represent his home county, which means he wears Vans on the mound. Yes, partnering with Jeremy Guthrie, former Royals pitcher who can make cleats out of any shoe. He wears Vans. You see that distinctive V, the light blue V. Bob, these are the second coolest pair of Vans I've seen today, trailing only Bob Costas today in the hotel gym.
I think it was an imposter. I slept in. Soto bounces one toward Massey. The throw is dropped at first base by Gurriel. Gurriel has played an excellent first base in this series and then drops one that your 10-year-old playing catch in the backyard would have caught.
Fielded by Massey. Lowish throw.
Oops. Oops.
Even tried to catch it with two hands and didn't secure it.
So now Judge still looking for his first hit in the series. 0 for 4 tonight. As expected, the last play is scored, E3. 2-0 to Judge, who has this to say about his ongoing October struggles. It eats at me. I feel like if we don't win at all, it's my fault.
Ball was a perfect pitch from Lorenzen, swung at by Judge. Something he doesn't usually do, swinging a pitcher's pitch early in the count.
That's inside. 3-1. Wells on deck and then Stanton. If they get that far. Went after the sinker, and now the count is full. Gurriel not holding Soto. Now just a leisurely toss over. Soto was barely a step off the bag. Travis Chapman, first base coach, who's also their infield coach, down there for the Yanks. So Judge winds up walking. An error and a walk. Put 2 on with 1 out for Wells.
Well, whichever way this game goes, Kansas City after this game is going to look at walks by their pitching. Too many in this 3-game series so far in the same game through game 3.
Wells is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Rips 1 foul. Check on Soto. Now Lorenzen comes to the plate. Royal pitchers walked 8 in game 1. They've walked 9 now tonight. 1-1 to Wells. Center field Isbell, almost in his tracks, makes the catch. So Wells wears an 0 for 5 collar, but now Lorenzen has to deal with Stanton, who has an RBI double, a single, and a long home run that right now is the difference in the game. Snapped a 2-all tie in the 8th. Look at that. In terms of home runs per time at bat, only Ruth exceeds Stanton. Of course, everything Ruth did was in the World Series. You win the pennant, you go to the World Series. That was it. Stanton didn't like it on the sweeper.
Stanton's seeing the ball well tonight, so he's arguing that pitch is down. Looks like it's there.
It looked like he was thinking about snapping the bat in half, and he looks like he'd be capable of doing it. Foul ground, right side. Looks like it'll stay in for Gurriel, and it does. Right against the camera well. So it remains a 1-run game as we go to the bottom of the 9th in Kansas City. And this game 3 goes to the bottom of the 9th. 3-2 Yanks. Weaver's going to stay in and try and notch a 5-out save.
Well, you know what's interesting about Weaver is that he had a 6-out save in September. But earlier in the season, when he had a different role, he was kind of the long man coming out of the bullpen. So not as unusual for him to get multiple outs, even though he's the closer now.
It'll be MJ Melendez, Michael Garcia, and then Adam Frazier. Weaver, the right-hander, on the mound. As we mentioned earlier, Kansas City has 6 bench players, all of them right-handed. So it's unlikely that we'll see a pinch hitter in this inning.
Melendez has hit the ball as hard as anyone in the Kansas City Royals lineup for the last three games. And then you got Garcia, who had a 4-hit game in game 2.
Big cut and a miss by Melendez, who had 17 home runs during the regular season and had a homer in game 1 at Yankee Stadium. Weaver trying to lock it down. Got out of a 1st and 3rd situation in the 8th. Fly ball to left. Verdugo. Easy chance. 1 out. Now Garcia. If he can reach, he'll almost certainly run. 37 for 39 on stolen base attempts this year. Called strike. One and one. Stanton the hero. The score stays the way it is.
Ball.
Weaver in 2023 made 21 starts for the Cincinnati Reds, so as a less than 500 pitcher as a starter, he has found a role in this Yankee bullpen.
Popped up, playable for Cabrera, and foul ground. And the Royals are down to their last out. Well, left-handed hitter Adam Frazier, who was 1 for 3 tonight, it was an infield single, will be pulled back. And they'll send up Tommy Pham, who has a good postseason history and who by reputation rises to the moment rather than shrinking from it.
That's why Matt Blake will come out here just to go over, reiterate the scouting report that they probably went over 3 hours ago. Tommy Pham, I can give it to you in one sentence: great high fastball hitter. Always been a great fastball hitter.
You know, you mentioned Weaver being with the Reds. He was with 3 teams last year. He's been all around, and he's finally found, at least for the time being, the perfect niche now as the Yankees closer. A couple of years ago, he was with the Royals. He's bounced around. Same thing is true of the guy he's about to face, Tommy Pham, who in an 11-season career has been with 9 different teams and to the postseason with 5 of them.
This is his 36th postseason game.
If he had a business card, it would read, have bat, have gun, will travel. Have bat, have glove. I was thinking about, well, forget what I was thinking about. Here's Tommy Pham. First pitch, bouncer to short. Volpe backs up, throws, and that's that. Weaver locks it down, and now Bobby Witt and the Royals are faced with having to win 2 games, one against Garrett Cole here tomorrow night, and then go to Yankee Stadium and win on the Yankees home field in order to move on to the LCS.
I mean, 4 2/3 sharp innings from Clark Schmidt until he gave up a couple of runs in the 5th, and then 4 1/3 great innings by Holmes, Canely, and then Weaver.
They'll ask Garrett Cole to lock it down tomorrow night. And you look at Stanton. There are things he can no longer do. He doesn't play the outfield at all, strictly a DH. Can't run much at all.
Though
But when he connects, they did steal a base tonight. When they kind of gave it to him, they ignored him. But when he connects, it has a different sound than most hitters, and it goes a very long way. I see JP down on the field. He's about to talk to Giancarlo Stanton.
Thank you, Bob. Joined by Giancarlo. The only player in postseason history with a better home run ratio than you is Babe Ruth. What is it about you this time of year?
It's the biggest moments. I mean, you got to be ready for it. You got to want it. You know, you're not always going to be successful, but you can't shy from the big moment.
Earlier today, our cameras saw you working really hard in the batting cage with James Rowson, your hitting coach. What were you going over at that moment?
Just getting my timing down, seeing the backdrop, making sure you know, I can download any type of information to be successful tonight.
Your stolen base. What did you see?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, he wasn't holding me on, and he was slow to the plate, so I thought, why not?
Should we tell Shohei you're coming for him next year? 50
I might be. Let him know. Let him know.
Congratulations, Giancarlo.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Back to you, Bob.
In good times and bad, he is always a good-natured and approachable guy. Well, our final score tonight: the Yankees 3 and the Royals 2. Coming up next, the MLB postseason edition of The Closer on TBS, presented by Genesis Motor America. For Ron Darling and the rest of the crew, Bob Costa saying so long. You've been watching TBS, exclusive home of the ALDS and ALCS. Off we go to Lauren Shahadi in our Atlanta studio.